You're welcome back to the channel. We are coming to cut our main pieces. We've drafted our pattern already, so we are transferring it on the main fabric. So that's what I'm making now. So I'm putting the back piece on the fabric. I'm cutting it. I've notched the darts. After that, I'll take my pattern paper from the main fabric or the wax print or ankara. So that's the back piece. That one will make the dart ourselves. We didn't cut it into panel or into pieces. So I'm cutting the zip line. I'll put it aside. Then I'll cut the front pieces, the princess dart bust here. Yes, so I'm putting the pattern paper on it. When you are making it, make sure you pin everything down. You pin it down before you start cutting. So I'm pinning it and making sure it's exactly how I want it before I start cutting. So I'm cutting it. That's the center front. So I'm cutting the size to after that you make sure you take your pins off the pattern paper. Always when you make your patterns and you finish sewing your project or your work, make sure you use some of the fabric that you used to create the pattern, that particular pattern, to tie the pattern, so that when you are coming to use it, you see this is this pattern, this is this pattern, because maybe you get a lot of patterns. So always use that pieces that you used to sew that pattern to tie the pattern up and put it down. When you want it, you can see it easily. We are coming to cut the sleeve, the cuff, and the collar. We'll put the yoke on the fabric and cut, but first we'll cut our sleeve first. So I'll fold it into 4. It's supposed to be wide at the bottom, then the around ham side will be a little loose, not too all that big like the bottom part. So the bottom part, the width is 14 inches. That means when you open it, you get 28 inches, so it's 14 inches the width, and the length is 18 inches. But I added 2 inches more. I want it to be a little long, so I added 2 inches more to the length, so it will be 20 inches in length, and the width is 14 inches. So I'll mark it. Then your around ham, if it's 12, you add 3 inches to it, so it will be 15. Mine is 14. I added 14 is 7 and I made it 10, so I added 3 inches. So the around ham width is 10 inches, The bottom part, the width is 14 and the length is 20 inches, 18, and I added 2 inches, so it will be 20 inches. So the length is 20 because you gather or pleat the shoulder. I prefer the gathers on this style, so I'll run a gathers at the shoulder. So that's what I've marked now. The bottom will be bigger than the upper part of the sleeve. So I'm cutting it. After that, I'll cut the yoke, cut the curve, the color. Then we take the things to the machine to start stitching or sewing. So that's the sleeve. When you're cutting the yoke, make sure you leave sewing allowance so that you won't short. You can leave it both the top and the down, by I left mine at the bottom. It's the same thing. You pin it down before you cut. It's midnight here that I'm editing, around 2:30, getting to 3 in the morning, because I want to upload it in the morning so that you get it to watch. I finished cutting the yoke. I want to put it on it and see if it's okay. It's the same. Sorry, I'm yawning. Now it's time for our color. That's the fabric we use for the color. I've not cut the sleeve, so I'll put that one aside. Cut the curve, then I'll put that one aside. After finishing the body, then we'll come and cut the sleeve for the curve and the color. I've cut the flare off camera. I cut it in a full flare, 360 degrees. It's a 360 degrees, so when you're wearing the dress, it will fold. It's a full flare. It will coil like you've added some or you insert some of the fabric, but it's a full flare. So I finished making mine. That's off camera. You don't have to sew the neck, the back, but the front you sew the neck where you have your sweetheart shape. Then you attach your yoke before you join your shoulder, and you won't sew the neck, the front one, because we'll attach the color on the neck. So both the back and the front, you won't sew the neck. I've sewn the neck, the bastia. I'll top stitch it on the lining, not the fabric. You top stitches on the lining. So this is the yoke. You sew the down part, you don't sew the upper part, only the down part. You top stitch it, you give it a good press, then you put it on the main bodice. So I've top stitched it on one side. I will give it a press so that it will lie down flat. And then we put it. That's what I'm making now. I've ironed it. I'm putting it in. Make sure you iron it, the white one, so that you get the center, so that it won't be crooked. And make sure everything that you are doing or making, you measure it, you get everything in place. So that's the center. When you are putting the yoke on the bastia, make sure you measure everything. Where the princess that ends, you measure that part. If you get 1.5, make sure you get the same size at the other side, so that it won't be crooked. After that, you sew it on it. That one, we don't it will be on top of the bastia. I hope I'm making sense. It will be on top of the bastia. So I'll finish pinning it. I'll go and stitch it down, join the shoulder, then shape it and join the flare to the bodice. Then we fix our zip. Then after that, we fix our collar, fix the sleeve. Then we are good to go. This style is very elegant. I can't imagine wearing this or rocking this to church or big events that they are wearing African print dresses. It's very neat and nice. You can try it. Please finish watching because the style is very elegant, so that you can learn how to sew this particular style. So there's a keyhole at the front. I'll finish sewing the joining the shoulder. You can see the seam, all the seam is inside neat. I've sewed everything in. So we are coming to shape. After that, we'll join our flare. After that, we'll join our flare. When you are joining it, you make sure the lining will be at the back. So when you flip it over, the inside will be neat. The inside will be neat. There's no need for you to weave the inside. You only weave the sides, the bottom part, and the sleeve. I'm cutting the collar. It's a tunic color. It's a tunic color. So that's what I'm marking now. It's 1.5 inch. Then the neck size is 16 or 17. So you can divide it into two, then you use it to cut. If you don't know how to cut this color, when you cut it, make sure you cut a pattern and put it down. As for me, I'm cutting it straight on the stiff. Because the color, you can use different sizes. It depends on the person's measurement. You use different sizes to cut, so I don't cut. So I didn't cut the pattern. I cut it straight on the stiff. I've pinned it down. I'll take it to the iron board and iron it. We are coming to cut the band or the cuff. The cuff, we measured our sleeve and we got 10 inches. You add 1 inch allowance for button. So that's what I'm measuring. It's 9 inches. We are now on the cuff. The cuff is 3 inches in length and the width is 12 inches. It's 10, but we had 1 inch for the button. It will overlap, so we added 1 inch for the overlap. Hey, my voice are on you, please forgive me. So we transfer the stiff on the fabric, and this is how it will look. It will overlap. Then we made the button all at the band. So I finished ironing you make sure you fold half an inch and sew it on the sleeve before you put it on the lining and sew and turn it or flip it over. You iron it. That's what I'm making there. So all the time when you sew the sleeve on the fabric, make sure when you are cutting you leave half an inch at the top and the bottom. So you fold the bottom part, iron it, stitch it down before you sew the color. So that's what I'm making now. So you sew it behind the sleeve, not on the sleeve, behind the sleeve. And the color and the cuff too, same thing. You fold it half inch, you sew it, then you sew it behind the sleeve, then you turn it or flip it over, you iron it nicely, then we'll attach it to our sleeve or we'll fix it on the sleeve and the color too on the neck. Before you fix your color, make sure you fix your zipper before you fix. The color is the last thing. That's the last thing on the neck side. You fix your zip before you fix your color. So that's the cuff and the color. I've run a goddess on the sleeve already. So that's it. We'll pin the cuff. You can see there's a slit on the sleeve. Like when you take your long sleeves, you can see they've slits at the back of the sleeve. That's how this style is. I didn't do that one so that the video will not be long. If you want me to create a video on that, we can make a separate video on how to make this particular sleeve. So this is how you put it on the right side. On the wrong side, then you sew it, you flip it over, then it will become on the right side, then you top stitch it. I'll finish pinning everything down. I'll go and sew it or stitch it, then you top stitch it all over. It will go round, then the sleeve is ready. You run your goddess at the shoulder. It depends on your preference or how you want it. If you want to pleat it, fine. I prefer gathering the shoulder, so I'll run a goddess at the shoulder. This is how the sleeve look. That's the back. Always when you are fixing the sleeve, make sure that slit goes to the back, not the front. It will go to your back. That's the color too. So I'm trimming the around arm. When you are coming to trim your around arm and you're making a shoulder, it's not a shirt sleeve that there's nothing at the shoulder. This one we gather or pleat the shoulder. You short your shoulder by 1.5 inch before you fix the shoulder, so that it will be a little in the shoulder because of the goddess. Don't use your actual shoulder measurements. No, it will drop on the shoulder. It won't look neat and nice. So always short it by 1.5 or 1 inch before you attach your sleeve. So I'm trimming the armhole. I've finished cutting. I'm trimming the armhole. That's what I've made there. Then I'll notch the shoulder. All the time when you cut a bastia, the shoulder drops, the back come to the front a little, so you notch it so that you see where your shoulder is. That's the shoulder. I've run my goddess, so the slit will go to the back. Then I'll fix the slit, fix my color, then I'll fix the zipper first before I fix the color. So I'm fixing the color now. This is how you put it at the right side, then you sew it. So this is the finished look. I'll go and put it on the mannequin, the dress form, for us to see the finished look. You can try it and see this dress is very elegant and it's nice. So please try it and see. And if this video was helpful, please give the video a thumbs up and please like. So see you in the next one. Bye, bye, bye. So that's it. Nice and neat and elegant. Beautiful dress. I can't wait to rock this dress. So you can try yours and see. Bye bye. I added a side pocket, so you can do yours like that.